Second grade math. How you doing? Mr. Hunter here with my whiteboard. My stand broke and I'm getting another one. So you're dealing with me writing a little bit low today and I'm holding my board up. What you're working on this week, starting today, we're going to look at page 207 and page 208. So make sure you get out a pencil, sheet of notebook paper, and your page for that we're working on today. But this week, geometric shapes, multi-number combinations, identifying symmetry, solving 3-digit and 3-add-in problems. Something like that could be like this. Up, hold my board. 342 plus 612. So that's a 3-digit add-in, a 3-digit problem, okay? And you can know the answer. 2 plus 2 is going to be 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. And then 3 plus 6 is 9. And that would be your answer. You're going to do problems like that. You might even have a problem that looks a little bit harder because this is what we wrote, vertical. If you have that same problem, you can have it like this, 342 plus, and the number goes out this way. Now, is that the same problem as writing it like this, 342 plus 242? Yes, it is, but it's just written lateral. This is written vertical. So you'll see a problem. Don't let it confuse you. It's the same problem. It's just written different. They are trying to confuse you to see if you understand that it can be written different ways, but you can still get the same answer. So those are the 3-digit add-in problems. Ordering non-consecutive numbers. What that looks like is if you have a number here and it says put them from least to greatest. So let's go, if we say this, we have 17, 27, 15. You have to put these from least to greatest. They're not in order. So which is the least? 15. Which is the middle number, the number in between? 17. Okay. And then the number at the end is obviously going to be 27. That is how you're going to do all of that there. Now, that was a pretty easy one, but the numbers are going to be a little bit higher. It's going to be a little bit harder. And you'll have to even work with numbers that are going to be all the way up in the thousands place. Remember, we have the ones place. We have the tens place, we have the hundreds place, and we have the thousands place. Now, just make sure that you're putting things in the right order. And if you always know, we go from right to left. If you have to hold up your hand to know which the right side is, you can do that, but right to left. Ones place, tens place, hundreds place, thousands place. Always in that order, okay? And if you get to the thousands place, what do you need to put? That's right, a comma, okay? Now, interpreting clocks to right times. If you have the shorthand always points to what hour it is. If you have the big hand, it always points to the minutes. Now, I know my computers are writing out there. That's what it looks like. Now, if you were counting on a clock, what are you counting by? Are you counting by tens? Are you counting by twos? Are you counting by, yeah, I heard somebody say it, even though I can't hear you. You're counting by 5. So when you go all the way around the clock, remember it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 12. When you get all the way around, you're going to have 60 minutes. There are 60 minutes in every hour. So you're counting by 5s when you're doing the clock. So when you're telling the time, let's say if I can write a clock here. All right. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm writing this pretty quickly, so excuse my writing if it's not perfect. All right, so you have the clock there. If the little hand points at the 6 and the big hand points at the 5, what time would it be? Remember, the little hand tells you the hour, so we already know right now it's going to be 6. And then if the 1, it's not going to be 6, 1, is it? No, that's wrong. It's not going to be 6, 1. It's going to be 6, and we're counting by 5. So 6, 5. So we're going to put 6, 5. No. We are going to put 6:05 because it's only 5 minutes. So you're going to put 6:05. That would be the correct answer. The little hand always tells you the hour. The big hand always tells you the minutes. And the minutes are counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. It goes all the way around and we get all the way to 60. So there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, like we mentioned. Let's look at page 207 now. You have your worksheet in front of you by now, I hope. And there's a problem on the bottom. that's going to involve, or number one, it's going to involve some regrouping and borrowing. So what you're looking at right now, you have a number that says 1,342. And then it says minus or take away. Take away 216. You underline that, you look at it. All right, now first thing we see here, 2 minus 6 or 2 plus 6? No, it's subtracting. We can't take 2 or 6 from 2. So what we have to do is we have to borrow. We have to take 1 away from 4. We take 1 away from 4, that's going to be a 3. And now you put the 1 over here with the 12. Now, 12 minus 6, we can do that. If you take away 6 from 12, that's half of that. So that's going to actually be 6 there. Now, if you have 3 minus 1, what is that? That's going to be 2. And then you have 3 minus 2 there. We know that. That's just 1. And then you have another 1 here, because instead of the hundreds place, we have a thousands place there. Remember, don't forget your comma. And if you have any trouble with taking away or adding up, you know what you can do? At the top of your page, if you don't have it, you can write a number line. So if I say, what's 4 plus 6? You're like, I can't think of it. I'm not getting it quickly. You can just go right to your number line and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we counted 6, so 4 plus 6 will give us 10. It's really, there can be a lot of steps in it, but it's not that hard if you take your time. We have a lot of smart people in our class. Sometimes you guys rush. Don't rush. Take your time, and you'll get the results that you want if you take your time. Read everything very, very, very slowly and very carefully. All right, we looked at the clocks. That's what you're going to be doing on number 2. Number 3, it says count by 25s. What number or what piece of, I'm saying it wrong, but what money do we know that represents 25? What in money do we know? Quarters. All right, I'm sorry I sounded a little confused when I said that, but quarters, all right? Quarters equal 25 cents. So you're counting by 25s. So if you just do that, it starts at 100. What places are you using? It's the 10s and the 1s. So you have 100, you can add 25. And it's going to be 5, 2, 1. If you have to do it this way every single time, there's nothing wrong with it. You have 125. So then you put 125 plus 25. And keep doing it this way until you get it. Don't try to rush. Don't try to guess. Don't say, oh, I can't do it. It's too big. You have to take your time. Sometimes the steps are what you have to take before you can run. All right. So you have 5 plus 5. That's going to be 10, but you have a 0 there. Now you got to carry your 1 over there. And that's 2 plus 2 is 4, plus another 1. It's going to be 5. And since there's nothing underneath here, you bring it down. And guess what? Yep, you have to do it all over again. So that was 150. And you're going to keep doing this until you get all the way to the end. If you can count by 25s regular, that's fine. But if you can't, this is an easy way to break it down so you can just count. Simple, simple. And just think of it like quarters. Pennies are 1 cent, nickels are 5 cents, dimes are 10, and quarters are the biggest coin besides the $50. Quarters are 25 cents. So you can count just by 25 each time. And then you can do it this way if you want to keep counting. Want to practice? Everybody see that? Sorry. 25 plus 25, 10, 4, 5. And then you put 50 plus 25. So there's so many ways you can practice during this time away. Obviously, we're not seeing each other in class. You guys are at home right now. And you can practice counting by 25s. We're doing really good with counting by 2s, counting by 5s, counting by 10s. But 25s, that gives us a little bit of trouble. So that's a way to break it down, just doing that. And if I went too fast or you didn't realize the step, rewind the video and go back and check it out. All right, let's look at number 4. We did this, writing numbers from least to greatest. Remember, I did a small number, 17, 27, and 15. You have 17,693. So you're in not just the 1,000s, you're in the 10,000s, counting the numbers and trying to make sure they're in place. The way that you determine this all the time, look at this number here, 17,000, all right? Then you have 10,000, all right? I'm writing that number wrong again. All right. And then I'm not going to erase that because that's bad. I don't want to set a bad example. 10,905. And then there's a third number there, and I'll just write that underneath so you guys can see. All right. That third number is 14,000. So one way, if you can understand, you can just say the numbers and you might be able to know. 17,000, 10,000. Just say the thousands place. 17,000, 10,000, 14,000. Which one sounds like the biggest? 17 is bigger than 14. It's bigger than 10. So you know that's going to go at the end. Then you have 14 and 10. Which one is the smallest? 10. So it's going to save you a lot of trouble. You're looking at the big number, but sometimes just look at the numbers before the comma and say them out loud. When you say them out loud, you'll be able to hear it. If you have 20 and 16, you know 20 is bigger than 16. So sometimes that'll work. Take your time with that, but just put them in the correct order and make sure you're following the instructions exactly how they are. Now, here we are at the bottom on page 207. You're doing something with parallelograms. And I'm sorry, my stand will be here tomorrow, so I won't be holding my stand like this. But you're going to be working, and I'll write it again for you. All right. So what you have shapes. You have to draw the lines to match. We've been doing shapes, but now you're going to be introduced to some new shapes that you may not have heard of. The one in particular is called a trapezoid. All right. Trapezoid. It sounds funny, right? Trapezoid. If you don't have the picture in front of you, look it up online. Look how it looks and see what it is. A trapezoid is what we call a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is any shape that has four sides. So a quad, everybody say quad, lateral. A quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is any shape that has four sides. Now, a trapezoid has four sides, but guess what? Only two of those sides are even. And when two sides are even, we call them parallel. So everybody can say parallel, all right? So you're looking at different shapes there. You're going to identify them. You're going to identify the cone to the cone, the pyramid to the pyramid, and the trapezoid to the trapezoid. A trapezoid, it looks like this, all right? I'm not an artist, but I can say I think that's pretty good. What do you think? Yeah, you notice how only one side is parallel there? The other sides, this one, boom, that one, boom, but these two are the same size, but these two are not. So that would not make it a even shape all around like a square or a rectangle. But what you have here are two sides that are parallel. And so that's pretty interesting. You're going to be learning about that. Look in your house. See if you see anything that's shaped like a quadrilateral that has four sides. What about something that's shaped like a cone? Or maybe shaped like a trapezoid. I don't know. But look in your house, write down some items, and let me know what you found in your house, because we would be doing this in the classroom if we were in school right now. But look around your house, see if you find anything, a book. Maybe there's a corner of a pencil. When you sharpen the pencil at the top, what does it look like? Does it look like a pyramid? Does it look like a cone? Let me know. All right. Let's look at page 208, and we're going to finish up here. You're doing more writing with differences. So you understand now we were doing the sums. Differences is just subtracting. So you're taking away. And then you're doing another problem with writing the sums. You have some really big problems there, second grade. Okay. So looking at this first example, 126 plus 244 plus 324. When you see something like this, don't be alarmed, okay? Do not get upset. Do not be like, oh, I can't do that. Just take it one step at a time. For some of you, what we've even been doing is writing the lines down in between so you don't get overwhelmed, all right? So now you can just look at it one slot there. So you have 4 plus 4. What's that? That's 8. 8 plus 6. We know? Well, you can go back to your number line if you go all the way up to 20, but 8 plus 6 is going to be 14. So you bring the 4 down. Now you have to carry the 1. So you have 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. And 7 plus 2 is 9. All right. So then we don't have to carry anything. Now we have 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is going to be 6. So your answer would be 694. Do you see how that was? It looked like there were a lot of numbers, but it really wasn't that hard when we took our what? We took our time. And you break it down, you make it easy for you. However you have to do the problem, that's great. You don't have to count on your fingers. You don't have to count like somebody else in class. You don't have to do it in your head. Break it down, take your time. The only thing that matters is you getting the problem right and you understanding the concept, okay? Last but not least, there's a word problem down at the bottom. It says there are 22 villages around the Sinhata jungle. Some villagers collect sap from the tops of the palm trees. Sap. Sometimes what they use to make syrup and things like that. It's very sticky, very sweet. They use the sap from the top of the palm trees to make jaggery, which is a kind of sugar. You're writing the sums. So again, they could write the problems all the way out, lateral, 4 different numbers. That's just a random problem there. They can write those out, but they chose to write it vertical. It's the same thing. It's not hard. Just take your time, break it down one number at a time. Remember to go slow. And then at the very bottom, drawing a line of symmetry. Remember, symmetry is drawing, so it's equal sides on both parts. Okay. If you have a circle, you can draw a line down the middle there. All right. And that is what we call symmetry. Both sides are equal on there. All right. This is your first page. This is our first lesson. Hopefully you understood everything. If you have any questions, feel free to go back. Try counting by twos, try counting by fives, try counting by 25s this week. And then what we want you to do is to keep practicing these numbers. Keep practicing doing greatest to least or least to greatest. Practicing counting by 25s. We're going to work on this all week. So it's going to be done and just put in your mind, your brain. I'm talking too much. I hope you're smiling when you listen to this. If you have any questions, rewind the video or feel free to email me. Love you guys. Talk soon.